Hello fans, collectors, investors. Welcome back to Iconic Baseball. Iconic Al here. And today I want to do a brief VR for my buddy Brent Richards at Brent Richards Baseball Cards. He recently hit 400 subscribers, so congratulations Brent, that's a great milestone. And he had what I thought was a great idea for a VR contest called Ballpark Memories. He wants us to think about our best day at the ballpark ever, which was hard for me to think what was my best day at the ballpark, because there were a few years there where my brother and I went to 20, 30 games a season. That was our summer back when I was in high school. So to think of one day and tell that story was difficult. But the more and more I thought about it, there was a day that sort of emerged for me as my greatest day at the ballpark. And that was the day I skipped school to go to a baseball game. I was a senior in high school. I was already accepted into college. It was definitely a case of senioritis. The grades didn't matter so much at that point for me. I was sort of already a little bit checked out. And so my buddy Barry and I had conceived of this idea months in advance when we saw that the Colorado Rockies were going to be in town on a Thursday day game in May to play the Pirates at that time, Three River Stadium. And so as it was getting closer, I included my brother, Brian, High Top Professor, in on this thing that we were thinking about doing. And I said, Brian, I'm gonna need your help if I'm gonna pull this thing off. And he said, okay, I'll help you. And so thankfully, Brian was in on it and he was able to sort of give me a little help pulling this whole thing off. And I was a good kid, you know, I didn't skip school. It wasn't something that I did ever. So that kind of helped, I think, to execute the perfect crime. Anyway, now that I think about it, I don't think my parents even to this day know that I did this. So if you're watching this, Mom and Dad, sorry, not sorry, but this is the story. So Brian and I had told him what I was planning on doing, and my buddy Barry and I had agreed we're going to meet at the local diner, King's Family Restaurant, which was about a mile from each of our houses, around 7 o'clock, instead of getting on the bus. So I went out the door with my brother to the bus stop. I was a senior in high school. He was a freshman. I had my backpack on, except instead of my books inside the backpack, I had my baseball card album, a couple baseballs to be signed, some Sharpies, some pens, the things I would need to go to a ball game. And so we went out to the bus stop. He got on the bus. I went my separate way and walked toward the diner, which is about a mile away. And so I met my buddy at the diner around 7. We sat down to a lovely breakfast. It was us and the old guys that would sit there and drink coffee every day. And so we sat there for maybe an hour and a half, eating a leisurely breakfast and planning out what we were going to do, keeping our head down because we didn't want to get recognized by anybody. And so after breakfast, we walked another half hour to where the T stop was, the train, the trolley, which would take us downtown. And so we got on the T around maybe 9:30 or 10 and got downtown by 11, 10:30, 11. And we're there in time to pretty much get right in when the doors of Three River Stadium opened and got right in for batting practice. So we were in there, batting practice started, and Colorado Rockies were on the field taking batting practice, and we just looked at each other, we're like, wow, we did it, like we're here. We skipped school and we're at a ball game. This is the greatest thing ever. And so the Rockies were a great team back then. They had a juggernaut offense with Bichette and Galarraga and Walker and Helton and all those guys. And anyway, Larry Walker was jogging by, and I said, hey Larry, and I held up a Larry Walker card. I said, would you sign my card? And so he looked over, and there was only like 5 people there to get autographs because it was a Thursday at noon. And so he signed this card for me. It's a 94 Bowman's Best, first year of Bowman's Best, a beautiful autograph. And this is the card that I still have that I keep as a memento from that game. The greatest day, the greatest baseball day of my life to this day. But Larry Walker couldn't have been nicer. He signed for all 5 people that were there, waiting for his autograph. And I'll never forget what he said to us after he signed the autographs. He said, looked at us, 5 kids or however many kids there were there. And he said, hey, no school today, huh? And he winked at us, smiled, and then jogged back onto the field. But, he knew it was up. He knew we were all, there and weren't at school. He didn't care why, but he kind of knew what was up. So I thought that was pretty funny. Anyway, I don't remember who ended up winning the game. I just remember, really enjoying myself at the ball game, and then we took the train back home. And the plan with Brian was he was gonna go to the local church and play some basketball with some friends right after school, and so I just met them there as if I had gone from school to play some basketball after school. So I met all them there, and then we went home from there together as if we had been to school, and then played some basketball, and then went back home. So my parents were none the wiser. Didn't know that I didn't go to school, but instead had gone to the ball game with my buddy Barry. And to this day, I think that's why I still love going to weekday day games, because there's still this sense of excitement, this sense of how lucky I am to be here, because everyone else is at school or at work or doing what they should be doing. But I still, to this day, go to at least 5, 6, 7 weekday day games whenever I can, like every season, because I still get that sense of boyish excitement being at a weekday day game during a beautiful summer day. But anyway, that's my ballpark memory, Brent, the one that really sticks out to me and stays with me as an adult to this day. So anyway, congrats again on 400 subscribers, Brent, and until next time, everyone, keep collecting and stay iconic.